So in the hypnosis course, there's the smoking cessation, and then I also signed up for the past life regression. And then you have the anos anosmia.
Anosmia.
So, so for me, and maybe am I incorrect in wanting to do the past life regression first, or
Smoking cessation, the way I made the course, will give you hypnosis skills that will make you more proficient in past life regression. So, smoking cessation and past life regression, I would say they require more advanced skills than regular or day to day usual hypnosis stuff. I would say smoking cessation first should come because I also have the more demos than in my other places because I wasn't sure how will I describe every little thing I do. I couldn't even put it into words. I thought I'll show because I didn't know how to word all this. There are so many different nuances that will give you that will weaponize you for every situation. And if you'll handle this, learn all this, then past life regression is easy. Why past life regression is more difficult? Because first, purely technical, it requires deeper level of hypnosis, much deeper than usual thing. Day-to-day things we can do in alpha state. We can do conversational hypnosis. We can do even simple coaching session, reframe few things using our linguistic patterns, and it will stick. Here, you have to be so deep to turn off this rationale so you can actually get insight, see things. And then also because that work triggers lots of emotional response, you have to learn how to handle all those reactions. And you will have them. And then the sessions are longer because there's so many different elements. So how do you control the client state throughout that length? 40, 45, an hour long session. If you find something, you want to ride that wave. You don't want to end it abruptly while you're getting something. So how do you control the client state at the deep level throughout that length of the session? That takes skills and practice. I know past life regression is very exciting, but don't cheat yourself. Just go through it. It's not that long. It seems like there is a lot of material, but you just have to watch it. Schedule in a day, devote a couple of hours to that. Just watch. Because there are so many demos, all you do is watch and it gets layer by layer in bits. It shapes your neurology. You pick up more linguistic patterns.
you talked about negative suggestions, and you did a video on it, and you used the example of like you will no longer be bothered, you will no longer be a smoker. Can you give other examples of more of helpful negative suggestions during a session?
Okay, for example, and you thought you're weak. No, it was that part, the ones that from beginning didn't even belong to you. That part was weak, not you. You are not the weak one. So here's the example. Not the weak one. The other part of you. For non-smoker. It's the other part that needed to smoke, that craved a cigarette. But the real you doesn't want that, doesn't crave that. The real you is a non-smoker. You came into this world as a non-smoker. You never wanted it. Why would you put that label on yourself?
That one was really good. Yeah.
They do use negative a lot. It does stick. It's a misconception that negative suggestions don't work. You've never been good for anything. If your parents say, if it didn't work, we wouldn't have any job. would be unemployed. Nobody would need our help if it didn't work.
There was an audio staying focused on work instead of porn. And I noticed for about 4/5 or maybe 80% of the session is that you focused on the positive. You focused on the man's priority to stay prioritized on work, how much pleasurable it would be. And you only brought in the porn element at the very, very end. And it was, in my perspective, done so gently, subtly. It wasn't bam, 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 bam throughout the session. Can you share more about
why we get absorbed? Although I always say in shamanism, in the now, what's now, be present, bring your focus in. On the other hand, why we get too absorbed in the problems that we're experiencing now, even if it's not that big, we make it big. Because we don't have any vision of the future. There is nothing important. We didn't set any goals. We don't know where we're going. There is nothing to look forward to. It's especially in men I see. Men are very future and goal oriented, more so than women, and it's more important for them. And if they don't have that, everything in the now becomes really big. You have to focus your attention and energy someplace, so they're blowing everything out of proportion. So here in that case, if we put more focus and prioritize what should be important, we taking that importance away from the problem he's experiencing. Okay, right now, maybe miserable. The situation is miserable, and all your focus is on that misery, and you think you're working through, but because you're focusing on it so much, you're feeding it every day, every hour of the life, you're feeding it, it grows bigger and bigger. But if you set bigger goals and focus on that, it becomes more important. Therefore, to overcome the problem you're experiencing right now, not to say it's not real, it is, but if you remove that importance and set a bigger goal in the future, this little problem becomes just a stepping stone. Okay, in the woman's world, I've seen this over and over and over too. Middle-aged women who never worked, who were housewives, something happened, divorced, life changed drastically. There is a whole new set of problems to solve. You have to work, maybe you need to get new profession, you need to rebuild your confidence. Now you're on your own to take care of your children. Now you're on your own to take care of yourself and children financially. You need to make money. Before you didn't have these problems. But before, most of housewives, what do they have? They have anxiety. Just because they have nothing to worry about, they create. How else can I get attention? Sleep problems. If you didn't work all day, of course you're going to have sleep problems. Now you ruined your sleep, it becomes chronic. Now you have real insomnia. Therefore, whole health start to unravel. You have inflammation, you don't recover. Now you don't even remember how to reach deep level of sleep. Whole health start to suffer. So she has now a list of diagnoses of chronic conditions. Okay? And now she's focusing, going from doctor to doctor, from healer to healer, focusing on all these problems. And they just get worse and worse and worse. As soon as she divorced, now I just simply need to make money, put food for my children on the table. All those chronic conditions somehow start to disappear. Not talking from a theory. As soon as I divorced, my health improved drastically.
it makes a lot of sense with because in my career job I deal with pain focused people, and it's like their world becomes very myopic and just focused on the one thing, which is the pain. So I mean, now I'm learning hypnosis and different techniques on how to work with them. But in the past, I would just use my own ways to just, again, open up, create space within their minds and new possibilities to open up their world to more than just the pain they're experiencing. Because you find that as people, as elderly people, when I talk to them, it's how much, it's the next doctor's appointments. It's what's hurting today. When an older senior person gets a dog, their whole world changes. I've noticed, like the health of bringing an at like a dog, a small dog in, because now they have to have a routine. Now they have to get out of bed to feed the dog. Now they have to go for walks and they get healthier. So this is a really helpful conversation for me. I really appreciate you digging in, especially that it's just we need a bigger vision than what we're focusing on in the present moment. We need to be in like nurture our future and fertilize it.
Okay, in finances, this is the simplest thing to solve because it gives us number. Or you getting better or worse. You don't have to, you know, meditate on it, trying to figure out to measure. It's all in numbers. It's very simple area. Okay, somebody's stuck at some level of earning. It's just not enough. For example, person makes $2,000 per month. They need three to cover their life expenses. And it's for many years now, month after month. I just need to earn that little more, that little more. So maybe sometimes they do, then they slide back. But what if they set a goal? Optimally, I want to make $10,000 per month. Even a person who's deep in trouble understand it's not going to happen if they just repeat the same thing they do. What are my possibilities? They start expanding and see more opportunities and think differently. So once you set a bigger goal, the little one, even if you couldn't reach it, still becomes easier to achieve. If you want to become a millionaire, you need to set a goal to become a billionaire. Then it's more achievable. Also, everything is in balance. We still have to keep in mind that there is a law of graduality at play. You can't skip all the steps, but those steps not going to be as stressful.
Is that why they say, Guzalia, like there's a frame, a mindset that says don't choose too small of a goal. If your goal is too small, you're not going to go for it. Like choose something beyond what you feel you're capable of. Most
There
people.
is a neurological explanation. When we achieve something that is more difficult, the payoff is bigger. Even hormones that are produced, it gives us different cocktail, not cheap discounted wine. Nice 70 years old bottle. And remember, our brain is the most energy consuming organ, so it always tries to preserve itself. What I can not do to preserve my energy, this is where procrastination and laziness come. What is the payoff? If it's just something little, you've set little goal for yourself thinking that it's more achievable. Payoff is not that big. Why would I bother? If you're setting goals, set the ones that will make you poop your pants at least a little.